What's up, guys? Welcome back to the poker vlog. This is episode number 29, and for this episode I play in the World Series of Poker main event. A lot of people make a big deal out of it. For me, it's just pretty much like every other tournament, except for ESPN is there. It's over 8 million for first. Playing against the best players in the world. It's a $10,000 buy-in. What the hell am I doing in this tournament? Jesus, I have a cav log. Oh my god. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. It's 10 a.m. on July 10th. I've got my ticket right here for the main event. I'm playing Flight C. Boom. Day one of the $10,000 World Series of Poker main event. I'm walking in and about to make my first mistake of the day. Notice that the ticket I'm holding says, not valid for play. That's because it's the receipt for my buy-in and it's not valid for play. It doesn't stop me though. I try to hand it to the dealer. He's a bright guy and hands it right back. Let me try this again. I get it right on my second attempt and hand him the correct paperwork. He hands me the chips. We start out with 50K. Blinds during the first level are 75, 150. Only 4 other players were there for the beginning of the level. It looks like 2 pros and 2 rec players. Not too bad. The first hand is dealt and I pick up ace-queen offsuit. I raise it up and take it down. Good start. I might have even been chip leader for about a millisecond. Not long after, I get ace-king offsuit in the big blind. The button opens to 500. I 3-bet to 1500. He calls. We both check all 3 streets on a jack 7-7, 4-jack run out, and I win with ace high. I get ace king again in the big blind. This time under the gun +1 opens to 400. It folds to me and I 3-bet to 1400. The pre-flop raiser calls. The flop comes 5-4 deuce rainbow. We both check. The turn is a 4. I check. The initial pre-flop raiser bets 1500. I make the call. The river is the ace of diamonds. I lead out for 2,000 and he folds. It's only the first level and I'm already up 6,000. I play an interesting hand with ace jack off, but I'll get to that on the break. It's a fantastic start to the day, but it's about to get even better. I get pocket aces in the hijack, under the gun +1 opens to 400. I 3-bet to 1500. Kevin Stammen, who just sat down, cold calls from the cutoff. The initial pre-flop raiser folds, and the flop comes king jack 10 with 2 clubs. I have an overpair, gut shot straight draw, and a backdoor flush draw. Still, this flop is going to connect with Kevin's hand fairly often. I down bet and throw out 1100. Kevin calls. The turn is another jack. I check, and Kevin checks back. The river is the 7 of clubs. I bet 3,100, and Kevin folds. It's early, but I'm off to an amazing start. Made it to the first break. I'm up to 59,000, which is great, especially considering the table I'm at. There's like 1 super pro and then 4 or 5 other pros and only 2 rec players. So I'm going to be going after the rec players mainly. Played some fun hands, 3-bet 3 times with ace king twice and then pocket aces. I won all of them. Been running really well, which is great. I opened to 400 with ace jack offsuit and got 3 callers. The flop came queen 10-8 with 2 spades, so I flopped a double gutter with backdoor flush draw. Check to me, I bet 900. The turn, and then it folded to the big blind called. The turn was a 4 of spades, so I've now got double gutter with an over and a flush draw. Big blind checks. I bet 2,500, and he folds ace queen face up. So that was a nice one to get through. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to play tight because there's really good players on my left, so I'm not really gonna be getting out of line or anything. We come back from the break, blinds increase to 150, 300. The table completely fills up. 3 of the seats that were empty at the start are now filled by accomplished tournament pros. On my right, I have Randy Ohel, bracelet winner with over 1.6 million in tournament earnings. He's been the most aggressive guy at the table, attacking whenever it's been folded to him in the cutoff, button, or small blind. On my left, I have Tommy Vitas, 4 million in tournament earnings. To his left, it's Kevin Stammen. He has a bracelet, a WPT title, and 5 million in tournament earnings. 2 doors down from him, it's Roland Israelishvili with nearly 3 million in earnings. Randy Ohel said it was the worst day 1 table draw we'll ever see playing the main event. My goal was to play hands in position against the few rec players and survive. Unfortunately, Randy was trying to push me around from my right. I was going to wait until later in the day when the blinds went up to push back, but I found a spot with 10-8 of diamonds during level 2, and I just couldn't help myself. So in this hand, with blinds at 150, 300, folds to the small blind. He's been the most aggressive player all day. He's been opening every small blind, every button, and a lot of cutoffs. So he opens to 1100, and I've been in the big blind with like 4 deuce offsuit and just terrible hands and haven't been able to defend at all. My image is pretty tight, and I've been maybe a little bit on the passive side. I've been checking back a lot. So anyways, I defend with 10-8 of diamonds, call 800 more. The flop comes Jack 7-4 with, it was Jack 7-4 rainbow with 1 diamond. Small blind leads out for 1200. I call, it's good flop. I've got a gutter and backdoor flush draw. Turn is a deuce of spades, completing the rainbow.
All in.
He checks. I bet, what did I bet? I bet 2,200. And then he raised to 6,500. Now, with his, he's basically only representing like pocket jacks there. I don't think he'd do that with a set of 7s. I think he'd just continue to bet in case I have a jack. I've been checking back a lot, so for him to go for a check raise in that spot isn't very good. So I have basically the worst hand I'm ever going to have. 0 showdown value, and so 0 showdown value, but I'm drawing to the nuts. So I re-raised 18,000, he tanks, and then folds, so we get it through. And I showed him, kind of wanted to send a little bit of a message to the table and just say I'm, willing to...
Hey, I'm Brad Owen, bitch.
Yeah, I'm willing to gamble a little bit, even though it's day 1. I'm not just trying to fold my way into day 2, but I mean, I kind of do have to fold my way into day 2 because it's a tough table. And the day 2 table is going to be much softer, like no matter what. It'd be pretty tough for it to be a harder table. Poker crowd.
How are you doing? I'm just getting back from I'm a Whale because I watched your video.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Keep up the good work.
Cool. What's up, Kevin?
Still in?
Yeah. How's it going?
Good.
All right. Anyway, that's it. I'll check in with you guys later. In level 3, with blinds at 150, 300, this time with 25 antes, I get into it with Roland. He opens to 1,025 in middle position. I pocket kings in the big blind, and I go for the trap and just call. The flop comes king 9-7 rainbow, flop top set, and I check. He bets 15-25. I call, I'm never raising, I have the nuts, there aren't a whole lot of kings left in the deck, so there's a good chance he's bluffing, and I want to let him hang himself. The turn is the ace of diamonds. It's a good card for him to continue with if he is bluffing, and there's a chance he might have connected with it. I check, he bets 3,600. I consider flatting again, but there are quite a few draws out there. I don't want the river to check through. Also, he's fired 2 big bets after the flop has come out, so there's a chance he might have a strong hand, worse than mine, that can call a raise. I make it 10,000. After a long time of what I imagine is acting, he lays his hand down. Now I've got almost 75,000. I'm the chip leader at the table. I've been playing solid for the most part, but I've shown that I'm capable of making some moves. The day is going well, and luckily the two super pros directly on my left don't have big stacks to push me around with. I make it to dinner with 73k, then come back to level 4. Blinds are at 200, 400 with 50 antes. It was a rough level for me. In the most significant hand, I get ace queen offsuit in middle position and open to 1100. Rolling calls on the button, the small blind calls. Now the big blind, who's a rec player, raises to 4400. It seemed like such a good spot for the big blind to be squeezing, but he hasn't 3-bet all day. I'm getting almost 2.5 to 1 on a call, plus if I call, then the other players will most likely come along. So really, I'll be getting 4.5 to 1 on a call. I throw in 3,300 more, and so do the other opponents. We go 4 ways to the flop. It comes out 10-4-4 with 2 hearts. The small blind checks, the big blind shoves for about 20k. I'm certainly not calling. I fold, the other players follow behind. The big blind later says that he had pocket kings. We're on the last break of the night. Didn't have a very good level. Started with, I think, around 73, 74,000. Lost 3/4 of the 3-bet pots I was in. And then I was down to like 55k, and I won some at the end, which is lucky, which was nice. And just gonna try and play pretty tight still, and just get out of this day with, starting stack or hopefully more. And yeah, I'll just be happy to be at a different table on day 2. During the last level of the night, with blinds at 250, 500, and 75 antes, I played 2 interesting hands. In the first one, I get ace-3 of clubs in the big blind. Roll-in opens from middle position to 1100. 2 players call. I call for 600 more. The flop comes ace-king-jack rainbow with 1 club. I check, and so do the 3 other players. The turn is a queen of clubs. I've got top pair and a flush draw. I want to see a river cheaply. I bet 2,300. It's a small bet, but it looks strong because I'm betting into 3 other players. Roll-in calls, and the remaining players fold. The river is another jack. I don't make a flush. I do have 2 pair with the king-high kicker on board. I check. Roll-in bets 7,500. He could have a boat or a straight. Every once in a while, he'll have something like missed clubs. I can't call though. I have to lay it down. I couldn't connect and make anything happen for a long time, so my stack dipped down to 49k before I get dealt ace-queen offsuit in the big blind. The cutoff opens to 1300. The button 3-bets to 3600. I had a feeling he was doing it light. I don't want to call and play my hand out of position. I 4-bet to 8,300 and it folds around. I take down one last nice pot to finish the day and bag slightly more than I came in with. Just bagged for the night, bagged 54.6k. Ran kind of cold the last 2 levels, which wasn't fortunate, but I was just at a really tough table, and so I'm happy to make it to day 2. It's a little over the starting stack. That's it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. It really does mean a lot, and it helps out the channel quite a bit if you do. If you have any questions or comments, let me know in the comments section. Be on the lookout for day 2 of the main event. I promise that one's going to be awesome. It's going to be pretty similar to day 2 of the Monster Stack vlog. If you haven't seen that one, check that out too. So hope you guys are all doing well. Good luck at the tables, and I'll see you next time.